So, but that's not the only reason Koda-P is here today. We also would like an interview with him as a Vocaloid producer.
Of course.
Koda, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 2 songs you released were group efforts with the collaboration project Resonation. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Beat Beat Tick Tick was the first Resonation collab song, and Speechless was the second one, but I believe you would also know that.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. When can we expect new works from you, and what are you currently working on?
Well, let's see. The next releases I have planned are actually going to have to wait until Halloween, because it is a Halloween release, so there's going to be a long continuation in my break from writing music, we'll say. But you could probably expect about 3 songs on Halloween. So right now I'm working. Well, let's see. I just finished work on the completed version of Halloween Requiem, which was the song that got me a P in the first place on Vocaloid Otaku. But I never thought it was good enough to put on YouTube, so I was waiting for somebody to help me finish exporting a line from Sonica that I had written, and they were just stalling for months. So I asked Crossfrown if she could help me out, and she gladly accepted the proposal, and I sent her the line already sequenced, and she made it just sound so much better. And that's some of the best work I've heard from Sonica, who admittedly sounds like she's singing through a pillow. And so that I received that line, and I finally attached it to Halloween Requiem. I made it sound as best as I can, and I'm just waiting on working with a friend to finish up the PV, and it'll be released on Halloween, hopefully.
Well, that's quite some Halloween candy to look forward to, right? When did you start using the Vocaloid software?
I started using Vocaloid first when I had borrowed Hatsune Miku from the internet back in it must have been last July, probably about a year ago, actually. And the first stuff I had started working on was already the Alice Human Sacrifice Mecha Miku mix. But I had also worked a little bit with Luca in my first original song, which was a simple song, and then I had done some covers with Gumi. But I've pretty much given up on the idea of pirating Vocaloid because I realized that the companies are not making that much money. So from now on, I'm sticking to working with Vocaloids that I own, so Big Al, etc.
Mm-hmm. That's great. When you compose, do you start with a theory or do you start with the music?
This one I actually have a definite answer for. I usually like to start with a catchy melody, and I write the background chords from the melody. And then after the entire song is done, I usually write the lyrics.
That's, I do that a lot too. So, how about concepts? Do you get your overall idea for a song after writing the first one or 2 themes, or do you already define a concept for your songs before you start writing?
I like to let the music flow as I'm writing it. So, I'll maybe come up with 2-measure or 4-measure melody, but once I'm done with the melody and maybe a little background music, I just try to think of where I would like it to go, and it tends to work itself out pretty nicely. So that's how my music tends to work out.
Mm-hmm. You also have your own UTAU, Kinkune Koda. It isn't released yet, but would you be willing to leak some information for your fans?
I would be willing to leak some information. The art that I have everywhere, on my avatar, on my banners usually, the art for Kinkune Koda is everywhere. But that art is actually being redone by the same artist in an even higher quality style, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, you could be looking forward to the fact that it's going to be on a very high-quality mic, on the microphone and recording setup that I used for the Ryo-sama parody. And also that it will probably be having more than one accent or dialect of English, including California English, British English, Irish English. You could probably look forward to a Cockney English. There will be also multiple octaves, so I'm going for completeness. This is going to be a very large UTAU project, so.
Well, it certainly does sound like a whole lot of work.
Actually, it would be a lot of work, except for the fact that because of software that I have on my computer, I can allow it to increase the quality of the vocal lines so that I don't have to take as many takes, which lets me, in turn, record a lot of syllables at once and break them up, which speeds up the process definitely.
Interesting. But you still have to set the auto in. Isn't that very time-consuming?
Yes. I was never good at setting auto files, which is lucky for me that I'm good friends with a very large member in the UTAU community, Miss Sapphire. She agrees that she'd be happily willing to do all of my OTO files, and she does it very, very well and very professionally, and without complaining either. So I'm very happy that she is able to help me with that.
Damn, that's lucky. I've never got that auto ini to work for me. It always turned out gibberish.
It's pretty difficult, I know.
Yeah. So, do you already know what tone range you will have?
Most likely, the low F. The low F in the tenor range would be the bottom of where it sounds good, and probably high G above that is going to be where it is going to be about the higher stuff that it can do. I don't have that large of a range myself. I'm working on that, but UTAU, of course, can reach higher than the human range. It just matters. The thing you have to worry about is whether it sounds human at all.
Yeah, of course. And does he have a preferred tempo?
The tempo, it has to do with how the OTO files come out, so I don't have any information on that. We'll have to see in the future.
Mm-hmm. And are you looking to get him to sing any preferred genres of music?
Hopefully he'll be able to sing all kinds of genres with his multiple accents, but I would think that the voice would be really good for rock, although everybody says that. This time I'm actually serious about rock music specifically, because the California accent is going to come in handy. It'll sound very underground sound. It'll sound garage bandy, if you will. But hopefully it'll come out clear. It'll come out clean and clear. So hopefully that'll be so rock. And I would think that it would go okay with a Latin feel like Luca, but I would have to try that out myself. So.
Wow, I'm really looking forward to that. It sounds like it's gonna be almost as good or even better than a Vocaloid.
Well, thank you. I hope that turns out true.
Well, I'm sure we all do. Do you have a final statement for the listeners and your fans?
Let's see. As a final statement, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who subscribes to me. That means a whole lot to me. Even if I'm not able to respond to everybody's comments on a video, I do try my best to thank everybody who gives a compliment here and there. And everybody who has criticism, I tend to also take into account. And I've used many of the criticisms that they pointed out in my earlier songs. I've used them in the later songs. So don't feel like it's pointless to drop a comment or subscribe or even rate the video. I always appreciate that. And I really like to try to be close up with the community. So I want to be approachable. So feel free to just give me messages on YouTube or on any of the forums I'm on, and I'll be happy to respond to you.
Well, thank you for this interview, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Kentai. See you around the forums.
Yes, you too. Goodbye.
Bye.
So, that concludes the interview with Koda-P. And next up will be UTAU Rennie, the leader for UTAU Producers Group on the Vocaloid Creativity Board. And let's see what she has to say.